All right, peace of Christ to all. This video is nothing to do about our normal topic. Today, I have a request from some people who say to me, can you share with us about your experience in the Philippines? I wanted to make this video so whoever is interested one day to go to the Philippines will learn from it. I have a very interesting experience, and I will share my review in with honesty. I'm not a person who will make statements just to make someone happy or even upset. You know me. First of all, the Philippines is a very beautiful country, and there is no question about that. But in this video, I'm not going to talk about the beauty only. I'm going to talk, let us say, about the good and the ugly. But before we talk about the good and the ugly, especially the ugly, I want you to consider that every country in this earth have good and ugly, which means I have nothing really against the people of the Philippines. They are very, very amazing people. So I will start maybe, I'm not really sure what to start with, the bad or the good. Maybe it's better to start with the ugly. So later you will hear the good. Now, the good about the Philippines is a lot. There's a lot of things that's good about the Philippines. So what is the bad or what is the ugly? If you are coming from the West and you go to the Philippines, you will notice right away you are coming into different universe. It's a different world. Everything is different. And when I say everything, I mean everything. The food, the lifestyle, the city, how the city are organized, especially Manila. Manila is a very, very busy city. And actually, the picture you see in the screen, this is a picture taken by me in a nice area, which means in a bad areas, things can go really ugly. Traffic is extremely, really bad. And you might spend hours to go in a distance where it should take you usually maybe half hour drive, traffic is really bad in certain months like August and April. August and October, and you can check in the internet to be sure. There's certain months, those are really like July, at the end of July, starting by August. For the coming 2 months, the weather will be really bad regarding rain. The rain will be very powerful, and the flooding will be all over. And the flooding can be deadly sometimes, which means if you are cornered in the wrong place in a car, it can be really very scary. All right. Now, people do not usually people will not see those issues, because if you go in the right time, then things will be fine. Just try to avoid places which is very well known of flooding, and you will be very fine. And usually, a flood can go up to maybe to the west. As we see in the picture, this is a picture I took it myself. This is the start of the flood, actually, where the water starts rising. And you see those poor people, hardworking people going to work as if nothing happening. And during the flood, actually, those guys with those bicycles, they are occupied with like extra seats. They work, they make good money because people do avoid to walk in the water, the dirty water. So they sit in this bicycle and they move you from the side to the side of the street, or from the side or the other side of the area, if for sure the flood is not too much high. Now, the population of Manila is really huge. We are talking about millions. However, I don't know what the update of but I'm assuming maybe the capital of Manila can take up to 20 millions during daytime. So we are talking about a capital which can take a size of countries. I mean, some countries, Canada, all of it is not doesn't even have 20 millions. You know, so a city alone have almost 20 million. So you can imagine how busy it is. And because it's so busy, most of the areas are, occupied in a crazy way. Most of the buildings are made not in the right way, and there is no space, there is no parking space, there is no concrete everywhere, which means the street have no beauty in it mostly, unless it's a nice area because it is, let us say, an area for the rich. So most of the areas are really very crowded, very noisy. Like even if you close your windows or your doors, the noise will come inside your door, inside your condo, even if you are in a nice area, mostly. Because the streets never sleep, and people there, they don't go by rules like, like in America, you cannot go use the horn, but in there, the horn, and there you can use it non-stop. And the most popular, let us say, transportation you might see is the one is called jeepney. Jeepney is simply, a little jeep, which they make it look longer, so it can take more seats and to take more passengers. Actually, we started the video with it. Let me show you again how the jeepney look like. Where is the jeepney? I'm trying to find it for you. Here we go. This is the jeepney. This is the most cheap transportation in the Philippines. For sure, it's not comfortable at all. It's very noisy, and I believe it's kind of dangerous too. Sometimes the brakes doesn't work. Sometimes it's messed up, Anyway, so what is ugly? What is ugly for you as a foreigner? That you need to avoid going to areas which is dangerous, especially where area is full of Muslims. Muslims are very it's like you go to any market, any place which is selling stolen stuff, stolen software, stolen equipments, stolen everything, drugs, etc. This is the business of Muslims, generally speaking. For sure, not every Muslim do that, but generally speaking, they are flooded all the markets selling illegal things like fake bags, fake softwares. They sell you softwares like Microsoft. You can buy it for $50 or Photoshop, etc. So avoid going to a Muslim area, especially Muslim area I'm talking about is under the control of Muslims. There's areas is 100% almost Muslims, like in Mindanao. In Mindanao, certain areas, not all of Mindanao, is certain area there's nobody there except Muslims, and this is where the groups of the terrorists like ISIS and Abu Sayyaf, they operate. So if you are a foreigner and you go there, you are saying, please kidnap me, all right? And the reason they kidnap you because supposedly you are a foreigner and you have money, number one. So they will ask for ransom. Number two, they might even kill you just because you are a foreigner, you're American, Canadian, Australian, So avoid going to Islamic areas. There's safe areas you can go to for visiting. However, Manila, generally speaking, is safe. It's a fine city, but avoid going in the wrong place in the wrong time. Like you don't go late, walk at night in an area which doesn't sound like right to be in. Use your logic. There's some cities which is very well known to be good cities. and there are cities which is very bad to be in them. I will show you some pictures I took myself in Manila and in the Philippines in general. This is an island. It's called Boracay. Boracay is one of the best places to be in, one of the most beautiful islands in the Philippines. However, there's a lot more beautiful islands actually, but because this one is more, let's say, advanced, like everything you want, you know, nice hotels, 5 stars hotels, etc. This is an island have everything, but there's some islands they are even more beautiful, a lot more beautiful, and they have nothing. Like, you know, the hotels there is very it's just a room, you know, like even there's no air conditioning, it's a fan, etc. But the beaches are very, very beautiful. I don't think like, you know, beaches in the Philippines is one of the most beautiful places to visit. And actually, it's not. I advise you at least to go once in your lifetime to the Philippines to see the beauty of those places. It's very beautiful. Those areas are very safe. There is no problem in them, and from there you can go and visit many islands. You know, there's another area. It's called El Nido, and actually I will show you on the screen some of those pictures. I'm showing you now pictures I took myself in the Philippines. You know, so going to those places, there's no problem. Visiting them, it's really a joy. It's good for even having a family, to go with your friends, you know. But there is something you need to be careful about, that Filipinos are very, very nice people, very, very, very nice, very kind. All right. So I want you to listen carefully when I talk about the Filipinos. I'm not talking about everybody. Generally speaking, all of them, they are very, like, I never saw really people who they are easygoing and friendly as the Filipinos. Very nice people. But as we said, in every country, there's bad and there's good. You see in the internet some people speaking about scammers and scams. You see someone, he is an American, he is marrying a Filipina, she is young, and then he lost his money, etc. And then he is complaining about that she used him and abused him. I believe this is not accurate, because when you are very old and you go and you marry someone, she is 18 years old, you need to ask yourself why she is with you and why you are with her. You are abusing her, you are taking advantage of her, and she is taking advantage of you. So, but this is not the case for all Filipinos. There's many Filipinos, they marry from foreigners and they stay with them all their lifetime and they never do anything wrong. However, this is a poor country, so you need to understand that security is very important for women there, because it's not easy for women in the Philippines to find good men to marry. It's a fact. I hope the men in the Philippines, they will not be insulted, but it's a fact. I've been told by many the same thing. Women are more hardworking in the Philippines. At the same time, it's not easy for them to find someone want to have a family and stay to be a good husband. And many of them, they go overseas to work overseas because life is not easy, and the husband is there and the wife is there. So one of them will cheating the other, etc. So you will see many of those stories. However, generally speaking, the country is a very good country. The Filipinos are very nice people and very decent people too. I know I want to say a story, because I'm talking about the good and the bad about the Philippines. Once I was in a fast food restaurant. Actually, it was the same as McDonald's. It's called Jollibee. And I forgot really if it's McDonald's or Jollibee. Anyway, it's fast food. And when I paid in the restaurant, I left my wallet, all of it. You believe it? All of it, I left it in the table. And I sat eating, you know, and I forgot about my wallet. I have no idea that's my wallet is gone. and it's my fault. I am the one who left it there. However, there's a girl, she came and she said, "Sir, can I ask you what's your name?" I said, "Why you want to know my name?" So right away I thought maybe she is a prostitute or something. And so I said, "No, I'm not going to tell you my name. What do you want?" And then she insists she want to know my name. So I was looking around to look for the manager to see how I can get rid of this girl. She's like 21 years old, etc. She said, "I need to know." I said, "Why you need to know? What's wrong with you?" You know. And then she found that she had no way but to say. She said, I found a wallet, and I want to be sure that it's yours." All right. I was the only foreigner in the place, and obviously from my ID you can tell, and maybe she looked at the picture anyway. Uh, right away I put my hand on my pocket and I look and I found that, oops, my wallet is not here. So I said, yeah, my wallet. She said, for me, my number one worry is, my ID, my papers, etc. She gave me the wallet, and you believe it or not, I have all my money in it. Not even one penny is missing. And this girl, she is very poor, So it was very amazing experience. When I told her I want to pay you like a reward, can I give you something reward for what you did? She ran away and she started crying. She said, "Well, you think we don't do good and like we don't do any good unless we take like a benefit from it." So she ran away and she was crying. And for me, it was very touching moment because I felt like poor people doesn't mean they will take your money and they are not interested, but to do good. And this was a great example actually. And actually for me, this lady, she changed a lot of way I look at things in the Philippines because of what she did. I have in the wallet almost what is equal to maybe $800, and $800 for a Filipino, this is a lot of money, So this is not something you can resist. The temptation is really high. So not even one penny is missing. So what I'm trying to say that Philippines have bad and have good, and depend where you meet those people. If you are trying to meet girls in the bar, well, don't accept to meet the best. You want to meet people, meet them in not in the wrong place. Wrong place will bring wrong people. All right. So for those who want to go to the Philippines, like many things are good, many things are ugly, and the most dangerous thing actually you will face there is temptation, especially with the prostitution. Prostitution is a business exists in every country in the world, and in the Philippines is no exception. Especially it's a poor country, generally speaking. So prostitution is all over, and many foreigners they go there and they get really in trouble because of that. You seek prostitution, you will end with AIDS, you will end with diseases, you will end with kind of whatever you want, and not to mention risk and danger. Those girls, they might be working with somebody like gangs, mafia. So take my advice. I don't care really if you're a Christian or not, but prostitution is something can transform your trip to the Philippines to something very ugly. Same as like those countries like Thailand, etc. Enjoy the beauty of the country and stay away from prostitution. And prostitution, you need to remember that those who sell you happiness, it's not real. It's fake. They don't care for you. They sleep with men as many as they can in the same day, and you can imagine how much risk is involved with sleeping with those women. If you don't care, well, then go, and then don't go back home and sleep with your wife and give her disease from what you get there. The other thing I want to talk about in the Philippines, that's government. It's corrupt, generally speaking, for sure. Like there's a lady who did stole more than I believe 20 billion pesos. and this is a huge number for a country like the Philippines. Finally, she was caught, but imagine like how this can happen. So the government corruption is really big. However, the country is improving. Those who want to do business in the Philippines, the country, I don't advise really to do business. Maybe the only business you can do is investing in real estate, but even that is really risky because this country has a lot of earthquake, and most of the constructions are not really good. So you might lose everything in, let us say, in the speed of light. One earthquake can take everything beyond your imagination. So my advice to people who want to go to the Philippines, I know that this topic is not really important, but I'm just doing a request for friends who ask me. This is a country to visit. It's a very good country to visit, but not good to live in. People are very friendly, very nice, but you can't trust people easy. Remember, this is a poor country. Some people, they are bad. They might take advantage of you because they think you are rich. And there's something very important. Don't ever say you are rich. Don't ever say that you have a lot of money. If you do so, you are being a fool. All right, you are asking the mosquitoes to come to you, who want to suck your blood. Meet nice people. Go to churches. Filipinos are generally speaking, they are religious people, and there's a lot of them. They are very good. But if you go to the bars and you go to nightclub, then don't expect to find really the high quality. If you go and search in Google for the Philippine pictures, you will see how beautiful the views, how beautiful the beach is there. It's really amazing, very beautiful. So this is my advice. If you want to go, stay away from prostitution, stay away from madness. Don't go to places, don't trust anyone to go to places. It's not full of foreigners, because you don't know. They might kidnap you, they might ask for a ransom, they might even just kill you and take your money. But this is not the case. I'm not saying I don't want to scare you. This is not the case always in the Philippines. There's many nice people in the Philippines, very, very beautiful, and the majority they are the good. It's the same as if you go in USA. Actually, there's areas you don't want to go in. As any country. It's hard to find a country in the world that doesn't have a bad areas, right? So you need to stay away from certain areas, especially in there. It's very easy to spot you that you are a foreigner, especially if you are not an Asian. So if you're an Asian, and you look like the Filipinos, not like a Korean, then you can survive it better, because nobody will think that you are a foreigner. But when you are a foreigner, you are a target for the bad ones. You see, you might go in an area and there's 2,000 people there. All of them, they are good, but there's one bad person there. This bad person, he will come to you, targeting you because you are a foreigner. You hear there about thieves snatching the purse, snatching phones when you are talking on the phone, especially if you're a foreigner, especially if you are a girl. Taxi drivers, there's a lot of stories, so you have to be careful and don't go where you should not go. As simple as that. Me myself, I was there for a while, and I never have any bad experience. Never. God loved me and sent me always the good people, and I never met really the bad ones. Like I met bad ones, like when they see you as a foreigner, prostitutes, they will come to you and they will approach you. But for sure, if you are not a customer, they have no business with you, right? So it's up to you. What do you want to do there, and what kind of life you want to live? The country is very beautiful. I advise actually anyone who can afford it to go at least once in his lifetime to the Philippines. It's extremely beautiful. Like there's some areas, there's an island. It's called El Nido. Let me search for it. I went to it. It's really a piece of heaven. I am not exaggerating if I say that. I think you can see in the screen with me what I'm talking about. This is the most amazing place ever I saw all my life. I'm not exaggerating. The water is so clean. You can see how clean the water. You can see the fish deep in the water. If you are interested in diving and etc. So this is a very beautiful place to visit. And you can take a boat. Doesn't cost really much. They serve you food. They serve you lunch. And they accompany you until you come back home. I mean, from the port to the port. Very beautiful. I don't know what to say to you. So, should you go to the Philippines? I say absolutely yes. It's extremely beautiful. And actually, if I am a Filipino and if I am in charge of this country, I will change this country to make it the most advanced country in the world. And they can make a lot of money from tourism alone. Additional to that, they have a lot of resource. They have gold, they have etc. You see the Chinese businessmen there, they go and they buy land and they dig for gold and etc. But the poor Filipinos are not enjoying their own land. The foreigners, especially Chinese, is the one who is sucking the Philippines. And most of the malls, most of the big business in the Philippines is owned by Chinese. But the country is really beautiful and so amazing. And I advise you at least once in your lifetime to go and visit such a beautiful country. And again, the Filipinos are very, very friendly, but remember, there's always an exception. Try and don't ever go to areas have Muslims in it, because the end will be unhappy. All right. I hope I was able to share for those who asked me about my experience in the Philippines. Maybe next time if I make a video, I will share some videos of my teaching in churches. And with this, I say thank you for listening. And I hope I was able to give some advices, and they are good for those who they are interested. Thanks.